Well, if you're going to go into the region of the dead, it will be fine so long as you obey the rules, because there are rules that are different to the land of the living. If you listen to the rules and if you keep them, they will not perceive you, and all will be well. If you break the rules, they will perceive you, they'll see you as an outsider, they will detain you and will never see each other again. So, ready? Yes. Rule number 1, yes. Under no circumstances, put sweet, scented oil on your skin.
تحت أي ظرف كان لا تضع زيتا أو عطرا على جسمك.
Rule number 2. In the region of the dead, under no circumstances, wear nice, neat, clean clothes.
وتحت أي ظرف كان لا تلبس ملابس جديدة تجلب الانتباه.
Rule number 3. No nice new sandals.
لا تلبس صندالا أو حذاء جديدا.
Rule number 4. No looking into people's eyes.
وعندما تصل إلى العالم السفلي لا تنظر في عيونهم.
5. No hugging and kissing.
وعندما تصل إلى العالم السفلي ورأيت أحدهم من أصدقائك من أحبابك لا تأخذه بالأحضان والقبلات.
Number 6. Don't drop anything.
ولا ترمي أي شيء يحدث صوتا.
Have you got that?
Yes.
Good. Keep the rules and all will be well. Break them and we may never see each other again. بانتظارك.
بانتظاري.
Oh, sorry.
لكن أنكيدو العراقي المتحمس ما أن ترك صديقه جلجامش حتى نسى كل شيء. وضع الزيت والعطور ولبس الملابس الجديدة ولبس صندالا وأمسك بعصا ونزل إلى العالم السفلي. لكن ما حدث عندما نزل إلى العالم السفلي بدأ ينظر في الوجوه يعرف من ومن لا يعرف، وأخذ هذا بالأحضان وذاك بالقبلات، واجتمع عليه سكان العالم السفلي وانتهى به الأمر إلى أرض لا عودة. راحت عليه.
At the gates of Ganza, at the entrance to the underworld, Gilgamesh awaited his beloved friend, and he did not return. And he knew for certain sure he'd forgotten the rules, broken them, and he'd been detained. There was only one thing to do, and that was to go and ask for the help of the gods. First, he went to the temple of Enlil, the angry earth god. Oh, Enlil, earth god, my best friend, he went into the underworld, and they have detained him. But Enlil is an implacable god. He knew the rules. He broke them. Rules are rules, and there is nothing to be done. He did not stand by Gilgamesh on this. So Gilgamesh, he went to another temple, off to the temple of Enki. Enki, the wise god, wisdom and fresh water, kindness, and he does play the odd trick. Oh, Enki, god of wisdom and fresh water, my friend, Enkidu, whom I love, he went into the underworld and did not return. Enki, he listened to the words of Gilgamesh. He said, well, rules are rules, but rules are made to be broken once in a while. There's something that can be done about this. And Enki, the god of wisdom and fresh water, he called on the god Utu, the sun god. Utu, I command you, open up a hole into the underworld with your bright beam of sunlight. Open a gap and send your breeze down. Send back the beloved friend of Gilgamesh. And Utu, the sun god, commanded. He obeyed the words of Enki, wise god of fresh water. He opened up an entrance into the underworld, and the next thing that Gilgamesh saw was his beloved friend rising up on the warm breeze, and they stood together once more. And then there was a fair bit of hugging and kissing.
أخذه بالأحضان وبالدموع
and
بالقبلات.
a lot of tears as well. And when at last the reunion was complete, Gilgamesh got to wondering about what had happened in the underworld, the world of the dead. He said to Enkidu, do you realise you are the only human being who's ever gone to the land of the dead and returned? I'm very curious to know what it was like, and I really want to know what has happened to all our friends, our beloved friends who have gone before us. Tell me, he said, did you see the man who had 7 sons?
رأيته.
How does he fare?
يعيش مثل ملك لديه 7 أطفال. هو الملك.
Did you see the man who had 6 sons?
رأيته.
How does he fare?
يعيش حرا يملك أرضا فوق النخل يم العثق.
Did you see the man who has had 5 sons?
رأيته.
How does he fare?
سعيد فرح فخور لأنه يكتب التاريخ على ألواح طينية ويدخل ويخرج بكل حرية وكأنه صاحب القصر.
Did you see the man who had 4 sons?
رأيته قوي يملك 4 ثيران قوية.
Did you see the man who had 3 sons?
رأيته.
How does he fare?
إنه يعيش حياة يشرب الماء الصافي من قربة.
Did you see the man who had 2 sons?
رأيته.
How does he fare?
يجلس على صخرة ويأكل الخبز اليابس.
Did you see the man who had 1 son?
رأيته حزين يبكي ينوح أظافره في الجدار ويأكل الغبار.
Did you see the man who has no sons?
رأيته حاله لا يسر لا صديق ولا عدو. ليس لديه ما يأكل وليس لديه ما يشرب. ما يأكله هو الغبار فقط.
And Enkidu, did you see my little ones, my little children who were never born and never saw life?
رأيتهم يجلسون على كراسي من فضة يحيطهم طاولة من الذهب وعليها العسل والزبدة. يأكلون ويضحكون ويمرحون وصدى ضحكاتهم تملأ العالم السفلي.
The little ones, they sit at tables of gold. They eat honey and butter and they play all day. And the underworld echoes with the sound of their laughter.
يدا بيد جلجامش وأنكيدو إلى مدينة أوروك في مغامرة أخرى سنرويها لكم ربما في مكان آخر. شكرا لكم.
When the city of Inab existed, but the city of Kiritab did not yet exist. When the holy crown existed, but the holy tiara did not yet exist. When the holy salt existed, but the holy vinegar did not yet exist. But kissing existed in those days, and giving birth in the fields. That existed. In those ancient days, I was the grandmother and the grandfather of the holy cedar. I was the mother and the father of the white cedar, and I was the sister and the brother of the Hasur cedar. In those ancient days, there was a city, and that city, it was called Inab, and that city was a prince amongst cities. It was a beautiful city. The city was walled by baked brick, and within the cedar doors there was the date grove, there was the clay pit, there was the city square and the temple. And the people who lived within the walls of the city of Inab, the black-headed people, they were hard workers. They sowed and they reaped, and they were elegant, good-looking and sophisticated as well. They knew how to style their hair, how to oil their skin. They wore the finest of clothes. They had a king, and the king gave the rules, and his people, the people of Inab, they kept the rules. They knew how to bend the knee. These were the settled people of the city. But beyond the walls of the city, in the mountains beyond, there were quite another people. And these people, they did not have a city. There was no baked brick. These people, they did not sow, they did not reap. They went where they liked. Their hair was wild in the wind, their faces were warmed by weather, they hunted animals, they gathered berries, they gathered nuts, they dressed, not in fine clothes, in leather from animals, and they were not settled, they moved about, they were nomads, they lived in tents from animal skins as well. They did not have a king. Their rule was the common good. They did not bow the knee. And these were Martu's people. And the story starts with Martu's people. Now, it was the custom with Martu's people, when the gathering had been good, when there was lots of food, that they would all come together for a fair share. There was a portion, a fair share. And if you were a married man with a family, your portion was 3. If you were a married man with no family, your portion was 2. And if you were a single man, you had a single portion. It came to the gathering and the giving out of the portions, and Martu, he came with all his friends, all the young men. And Martu, he was a single man, he was given a single portion. But since the last time of the giving out of the portions, all his friends had got married. So, as is fair, they all got... When his friends saw that they had 2 portions and Martu only had 1, they looked and said, "This isn't right. We've got 2, he's got 1. This isn't fair." He said, "It's perfectly fair. You're married, I'm single." They said, "No. We were children together. We played together. We fought together. We learned together. We were teenagers together, and now we're young men together. We have always been the same, and we should always be the same." And each one of his friends just took a tiny bit of their portion, and they gave it to Martu. So he ended up with more than any of them. And he was ashamed, but he didn't say anything. But the next time they came to the giving out of the portions, the same thing happened. All his friends got... But Martu, he was single, so he only got... And all his friends said, "This is not fair, we're the same. We were children together, we were boys together, now we're young men together. We should always be the same." And each one gave a little to Martu. And Martu ended up with more than any of them. And he was ashamed. But this time he went to his mum. He said, "Mother, what am I to do? Every time we go to give the giving out of the portions, I get 1, my friends get 2. That's perfectly fair, but they all give me a bit of theirs and I end up with more than any of them. Advise me, Mother." And his mother smiled. She said, "I will speak a word. Let my word be heard. I will give advice. Let my advice be followed. Find Find a girl you like. Find a woman of your heart's desire. Marry her and bring her home to be a companion to me. So that was the mother's advice. Now, around that time, all the boys heard that there was going to be a big festival in the city. And Martu said, let's go to the city and visit the alehouses of Inab. And so all of them, they travelled through the mountains to come to the city of Inab. Before they saw it, they could hear it. They could hear all 7 of the Sem drums pounding like the voices of strong men, and the little Allah drums pattering along behind. And when they came down over the hill, they saw there were the great gates, the cedar gates, open. And the hordes, crowds of the black-headed people were flooding into the city. And Martu and his friends, they let themselves be taken along by the crowds. And in no time at all, they found themselves in the city square. There was a crowd, and they pushed their way to the front. And there was a competition going on. A competition of the girdled champions. They were the wrestlers, and they were walking about showing the bulge of their muscles and the expanse of their chest. And the horns were sounding, getting ready for the competition. And then Martu saw that on the platform just there was the king of Inab. And beside him, on her seat, there was the princess. In a flash, Martu had taken off his leather shirt and he tied it around his waist like a wrestling belt. And Martu was marching up and down, showing the bulge of his muscles, the expanse of his chest. And just at that moment, the horns stopped blowing, and it was the beginning of the competition. And the air was full of the oomph and the slap of flesh on the floor and the crack of bones on stone and the groans of the girdled champions, the wrestlers, being carried out of the ring, dead, dying, injured. And when at last the competition was over, the one who still stood standing was Martu, and everybody cheered. And the king of Inab, he stepped down off his platform and he walked over to Martu. He said, "Let all the assembled company see that I acclaim the champion. Without doubt we have a winner." He clapped Martu, and then he said, "Now, I must give you the winner's gift. I offer you gold." But Martu said he did not want the gold. "Well, then I offer you silver." But Martu said he didn't want the silver. "I offer you gold. I offer you jewels. I offer you..." But Martu, he said, "What does your gold lead to? What does your silver lead to? Or your jewels? Can you eat them? Can you snuggle up to them when it's cold at night?" "Well," said the king, "you might not want gold and jewels, but still I must give you a winner's gift that you desire." And Martu said, "I do not want your gold or silver or your jewels. I want your beautiful daughter to be my wife. Let your gift be your consent to our marriage." And the king was taken aback at that. And he looked at his beautiful daughter and he said, "Very well, but there are conditions. If you bring to me the calves and the cows to feed the calves, and the cows and the calves lie down in the barn, then I will give to you my consent. If you bring to me lambs and sheep to feed the lambs, and the sheep and the lambs lie down in the sheepfold, I will give to you my consent. If you bring the goats, the kids and the goats to feed the kids, and the kids and the goats lie down in the goat pen, then I will give my consent. Promise this, and you'll have your gift. And Matu said, I promise it! And he gave a flashing glance to the princess, who gave him a glance back. And then he turned, and with all his friends, and taking, the king must have given the gold and the silver and the jewels, because they ran through the streets of the town, giving them away. And then Matu